You can only keep your mind on so many things, right? Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everyone watching and to everyone not watching. I hope you're having a great day. Not such a great day for fans of mobile games, as the crisis, I'm going to borrow the word crisis, of the gaming industry continues. We've had some more negative, positive, I'm going to call it. I think it's more on the negative side. I don't know, am I a glass half empty type of person? It's been a mixed... It's been a mixed type of day. Depending on where you live as well. There's a lot to unpack today. We're going to begin with what's most important. It's been a very busy summer when it comes to news, when it comes to keeping up with developments. You know, not all of it is good. In fact, I would say that after Summer Games Fest, the majority of it has just been a snowball of catastrophic developments for the gaming industry, but here we are trying to keep our heads on top of it all, not let it overwhelm us. It was funny, this isn't the news I'm going to talk about, but Sony reared their ugly heads the other day. They made a post about a controller that's supposed to come out, and which honestly, that controller had a lot of excitement going on, a lot of traction. It was supposed to be a fighting game controller, a joystick, and a lot of people were excited about that before this whole debacle about going full digital started happening. So honestly, everyone just forgot about that controller underneath that post, and they just started, you know, going full blast on them. And honestly, harassment of any type is a no-go. You shouldn't be doing that. You're not going to make your point. But, you know, in this instance, I'm just going to say that it's difficult to argue with the people doing it. Again, not that it's okay, but it's understandable because it's coming from a place of deep hurt. So this is today's news. Welcome to the summer of 2026 where everything sucks. So if you're a fan of the mobile game Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis, I regret to inform you that the game is going to be ending its services in October, in very early October. No reason has been given. It's a smartphone game. If you don't know what Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis is, it's a smartphone game that sort of like reiterates the events of the Final Fantasy VII universe. Sort of like a gacha game. It's a game in which you can purchase. It includes microtransactions, but you don't. They're not essential for you to enjoy the game and to follow the story. So like it includes like mini battles and stuff. You can equip your characters like Cloud and Tifa, and also like Sephiroth. So like it encapsulates the story of all the compilation, including remake, and they also told the story. There were other parts included, like the story of young Sephiroth, you know, and all that. And it was supposed to go even further. It was supposed to tell the story of Advent Children. It was supposed to, like, the story of Advent Children was supposed to be playable for the first time ever. That's not going to happen. So let's just click on this real quick because I haven't actually read it. Thank you for playing Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis. This is a message from the management team. We regret to inform you that we will be ending service for Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis on October 6 at 11 p.m. Pacific daytime. We understand that this news may be disappointing, and we sincerely apologize for the abrupt nature of this announcement. Since the launch of the App Store and Google Play versions on September 7, 2023, and the Steam version on December 6, 2023, we have worked to provide the best possible experience for our players. After careful consideration, however, we have determined that it will be difficult to continue doing so, and have made the decision to end service. Below you will find the details regarding the end service. End of service schedule. It features some stuff. In-game events are scheduled to be released and updated until the end of service, so they're not just going to pull the plug immediately. They're giving you like some time. And the interesting thing is that they're going to keep updating it with new stuff. I'll show you what I mean in a little bit, but to protect users' personal information, account information will be deleted once all procedures associated with the end of the service have been completed. That's nice of them, you know. You don't want anyone getting their hands on stuff. Unused in-game currency paid refunds to Taiwan residents only. Details will be provided in-game and on the official website at a later date. When processing inquiries regarding unused in-game currency, paid red crystals, your account information will need to be verified. Please do not delete the app or switch devices and reinstall the app until the refund process has concluded. Refunds are available only to users residing in Taiwan. Interesting. So what if I reside in Australia and I've made purchases and I want refunds? Do I not get it? Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis team? We hope you continue to enjoy Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis during the limited time remaining until the end of service on October 6, 2026 at 11 p.m. Pacific Daytime. Thank you, as always, for your support. The Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis Management Team, July 7, 2026. Very simple. Please note that new Steam downloads of Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis will be discontinued on, well, they've been discontinued. Players with the Steam version installed will not be affected. There's a producer's letter. Thank you for playing Final Fantasy Ever Crisis. This is Shuichi Chikawa, the producer of the game. As we recently announced, after careful consideration, we have made the difficult decision to end the service of Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis for both the Japanese and global versions on October 6, 2026 at 11 p.m. Ever Crisis launched on September 7, 2023 to serve as another possibility for a remake. Glenn and the gang, Glenn was the main character, were essential in telling young Sephiroth's story, and they even crossed over to the mainline Final Fantasy VII Remake series when they continued to play an important role. Additionally, through seasonal and crossover events, we were able to explore stories that had never been told in Final Fantasy VII, and even created original outfits for the game. Ever Crisis would not have been able to continue contributing to and enriching the Final Fantasy VII universe without your passion and unwavering support. On behalf of the entire development and operations team, I would like to extend our sincere gratitude to everyone who has supported this title. Since the game's launch, you've reached out to us and shared your thoughts through in-game channels, our social media channels, and various other platforms. Regardless of whether you offered kind words or honest feedback, all of it has meant a great deal to us. However, after careful consideration and countless discussions within the team, we determined that it would be challenging to maintain a level of service that is expected of a game with the Final Fantasy VII name in its title, and have come to the difficult decision to end the service of this game. While we recognize that many people are playing Ever Crisis, it has become difficult to find a balance between production costs and the demand for character weapons and gear. At the same time, delivering satisfying equipment visuals remains a priority for us, as it's something players see the characters wearing, and we understand how passionate the community and fans are about the Final Fantasy VII characters. Ultimately, however, striking an ideal balance between visual quality and development costs, while also maintaining gameplay balance that encouraged greater party diversity, presented ongoing challenges. Having to share this news less than 3 years after launch is incredibly difficult for the operations team as well. We're grateful to all of you for supporting and loving the game, and we're sorry that we can't continue delivering the experience you deserve through the end. Until Ever Crisis shuts its doors on October 6, Pacific Daytime of this year, both the development and operation teams will do our best to provide the best experience we can. When Ever Crisis launched, we claimed it would allow you to enjoy the complete Final Fantasy VII story, including the compilation titles. At this moment, we have yet to tell the story of Before Crisis Final Fantasy VII. To make good on that promise, we will be releasing the story in 3 parts from July through August. Additionally, during the 3 months leading up to the end of service, we will bring back past content to allow players to experience everything the game has to offer. We also have guild battles, a Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis Festival of Gratitude campaign, a summer campaign, and various other events and campaigns planned. Our goal here is to make it possible for players who stepped away from the game to come back and still enjoy all of the game's content. We'll be providing more details in regular future updates. On September 6, 2026 Pacific Daytime, the 3-year anniversary of the game's launch, will be releasing the final chapter of the Final Fantasy VII saga. This climax is something we've been building up to since the game's launch, and we're working to have it ready for you on the game's important anniversary milestone. Not only will the story be updated on the game's final anniversary, but to ensure that it's a worthy send-off, there will also be new weapons, new gear, and new seasonal quests. Specific existing weapons will also be getting customization options that open up new strategies, loadouts, and team compositions. Between the equipment you've collected and the new equipment we'll be adding, we hope the game will have enough breadth and depth for you to enjoy. The entire team is committed to doing its part until the very end of the service. Finally, on behalf of the team, I would once again like to thank every single person who has ever played Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis. So much has happened over the past 3 years that fills me with gratitude, such as the candid yet supportive feedback you gave during live streams and the thoughts you directly shared with me at in-person events. Thank you. The entire team will do its best until the end of the service to deliver a fun game experience. We hope you'll enjoy Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis. Shuichi Chikawa and the Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis team. So, here's what I'm understanding from this. Here's the meaty part. After careful consideration, we determined that it would be challenging. It like they just demanded too much, and honestly, like this is the part you should read. While we recognize that many people are playing Ever Crisis, it has become difficult to find a balance between production costs and the demand for character weapons and gear. So they couldn't keep up with it. And while I do understand and I do appreciate the fact that Square Enix wants to deliver the highest quality to anything that has the title Final Fantasy VII attached to it, there's also the issue of, how much is this product making, right? And Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis probably didn't make that much for them. I have it on my phone, but I'll be honest with you, I've never touched it. I've never played it. I was actually waiting for content that I hadn't played before to be released in order for me to jump into it. Although, admittedly, I could have played some of the Sephiroth chapters and all that, but I don't know. It didn't seem appealing to me, especially when I'm busy playing other games, to start playing a mobile game on top of that. So I wasn't interested. I saw all the young Sephiroth content and all that, and I was like, it's cool. I'm interested. I'd like to find out more about Sephiroth, but at the same time, I don't have the time for it. And it's easier. See, this is where YouTube sort of did damage to this game. I found it easier to just jump on YouTube and find whoever uploaded the content, the story content that I wanted to learn about this game. And I'd jump on YouTube and watch it. I actually did that the other night when they released the latest chapter with Cloud finding himself out through the whole live stream sequence with Tifa. And I actually saw that when I finished stream the other night. I jumped on YouTube, and the funny thing is that you realize that that's not the optimal way to play games, right? I should have actually played the game itself and supported it. And here I am doing a stream about, it's such a shame that Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis is ending its services, when I actually contributed to that. It's partially my fault as well, right? Because I should have supported it, but there's no time to do that, right? There's literally no time. I didn't have the capacity after coming off stream and playing video games like Crimson Desert or 007 to then start playing another video game on my phone. I don't know. It just becomes too much. I understand them, and I appreciate the fact that they want to put. Here we go. I appreciate the fact that they want to put attention and care into anything that has the Final Fantasy VII label on it. But on the other hand, it also comes down to, if it's not making money, we have to cut it off. It's it's too much. And it comes down, it also brings to mind an interview that Sean Layden gave to GameIndustry.biz, GamesIndustry.biz the other day, where I'll remember an excerpt of that where he was saying that, like, back a few years ago, a couple of gaming generations ago, it would cost like 8 to 9 million to create a PS2 title, and if it was good, then fantastic. But if it flopped, it wasn't any skin off our teeth, it wasn't anything that we would worry ourselves with. We could just move on to the next project, and that would be that. But nowadays, if you want to get funding for a game, any sort of game, we're not talking about just a big AAA title, although I think he was referring to AAA titles, but even smaller games like this, they also cost money, right? So if you want to get funding for any sort of video game, you need to come up with a project. You need to convince shareholders that it's worth the funding, right? And if it's not making money, or if firstly, if you can't convince them, and secondly, if it doesn't make the money that you're talking about, it's going to get axed. It's immediately going to get axed. So, this probably didn't have, Ever Crisis probably didn't have the return on investment that they were hoping for. It spent its time in the limelight. They advertised it as heavily as they could because it has its own social media. It has its own, it's been heavily promoted. They did everything they could to push it out. It's on YouTube. It's on everywhere that they pushed it out. They did live streams. They did everything they could. Ultimately, it probably didn't make that much money because you can see he's talking about costs, production costs. So if they're hemorrhaging money from this, they need to cut it. And honestly, I think ultimately I'm a little bit sad, but at the end of the day, it might be a good idea. If they're going to save money from Ever Crisis and from all other mobile games in order to create better video games, then good idea, forget Ever Crisis, forget all your mobile games. And honestly, this is something that a lot of people have been talking about in the past as well when it comes to Square Enix and other companies. It's like, why are you creating mobile games when you can't even create good AAA games, when that's actually the core of your business? Focus on that. That's what you should be focusing on, right? We don't really care about mobile. Like, I understand that there might be an audience for this. Like, I understand there's a huge audience for, well, not a huge, but there's a big audience for anything that has the Final Fantasy VII label on it, and there's probably people who wait for the monthly drops and the chapters to come out, and who will be very disappointed about this news. But ultimately, it's better if they can save money from this, if it's going to improve Final Fantasy VII Revelation, or if it's going to make Kingdom Hearts 4 come out sooner, or Final Fantasy 17, anything, So I don't think that, if you take it a little bit into consideration, I don't think that this is fully bad news. Also, the fact that they're not pulling the plug entirely. They're going to give us, as they said, they're going to give us this before it ends, which is, let's take a look. Nice music. It's like 1 minute. So that's it, literally. So yeah, we'll be getting this, which is another good thing. They said they'll be delivering it in 3 chapters, which will come month after month. So it gives us time to play and enjoy the story of Before Crisis, which is a chapter of Final Fantasy VII that never made it to Western shores. It was kept in Japan because back then, you need to understand that smartphones advanced faster in Japan, and they were able to carry the game. This is a mobile-only game. It never released on any other platform, just smartphones, right? So smartphones in Japan had advanced quicker than they had in the rest of the world. Like we were just carrying around our big Nokia 3310s, 3310s, while Japan already had smartphones with the color screens and stuff like that. So the Japanese phones could carry this game. The Western phones couldn't. So that's what happened. I think this game came out somewhere in the early 2000s. 2000, late 2000, early 2010s, and yeah, it never made it to Eastern. We know what it's about. It's a story about the Turks, the organization within Shinra that takes care of espionage and all that. So, and it also tells the origin story of Avalanche, like how Avalanche came to be, like where did it come from, who were its founding members. You know, it wasn't Barrett who created it; it came from somewhere else. And I think Before Crisis will also connect really well with the final part of Final Fantasy VII Revelation, the final part of the remake. So yeah, those two stories will, I think, they connect to each other really well. Anyway, so yeah, I'm glad that we're at least going to get that before it's over. But even then, even then, I really want to play Ever Crisis, right? But at the same time, I'm playing First Light, right? The World Cup's going on, and I have other things, personal things going on, and I might even have even more personal things going on. Where and when am I supposed to play Ever Crisis, right? And how am I supposed to avoid the temptation of not skipping all the gameplay and not going on YouTube to watch someone else play it, and actually someone else skip all the playthrough and just tell me the story, which is actually what I want to see from this. I just want to see the story. I don't want to sit there playing because, to tell you the truth, I'm not a mobile game player. I don't play games on my phone, and not to mention I have battery issues. Right, this thing, it's like 3 years old, so the battery doesn't last. I mean, I'm sorry, but there's only so much we can do. I have the app, like I've downloaded the app. Let me show you, just so you don't say I'm just saying it, right? Here it is. Where's Sephiroth? I think you can see it. Come on. Well, that's it. On the top left corner, you can see Sephiroth, right? So that's Ever Crisis. Although, wait, I just tapped it. It's loading. See, when you haven't used an app for a while, you see the little cloud next to it, the little cloud symbol. It means you have to re-download it. So I'm re-downloading it now. But ultimately, I don't know if I'm going to have the time for this. Like I really want to play. I really want to play. Hey Hannah, welcome in. Welcome in with your little Gengars. I'm just talking about where's the Bond? Oh yeah, we'll get to that. I'm just talking about the ending of Ever Crisis. Uh, yeah, Gengar. Gengar is one of my favorite Pokemon. So anyway, yeah, as I was saying, there's only so much time during the day where you can play like James Bond, which is what Hannah came here to see. You can play Ever Crisis. You can play like Gengar, Dragonite, Charizard. Yeah, lots of cool Pokemon. Looking forward to finding more about waves and what's waves and winds and waves. What did they call it? The new Pokemon game. But yeah, to close this part of the stream, yeah, I just want to say that while I am looking forward to Before Crisis, I only have that much time during the day and that much battery on my phone, during which I can play mobile games as well. Like, where am I supposed to fit it in, right? I'm sad about this news, but if they can devote all these resources to another game, another AAA game or something, I think we might be better off. So it's day for me. Yep.